Hello, and welcome to the Footballers Fixable Alright podcast with your favourite hosts, James, and your second and third favourite hosts, Sess and Dan. Hello, how are we? Alright, chaps.
Hello, very well.
He has to say this himself, doesn't he? Because he just doesn't get the kind of reviews that we do.
He has to get in there quick, put himself at number one before he then gets brought down a few pegs as soon as you start talking, Sess. Yeah. But
yeah, he also doesn't realise that I do the editing as well. So
that's what you have to do. You have to twist the truth so people don't hear it. That's what it is.
I've got to say, I appreciate...
It's just a different kind of truth.
I appreciate not having the whole third wheel of your double act introduction this week. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I have to think one for next week.
I feel so included.
Been a great weekend, though.
Oh, fantastic.
Hasn't it? It's been a great weekend. Look at that smile on Dan's face.
I'm chuffed.
United
what is winning?
City.
Bouncing off of the walls.
Also, it's been a bad week for VAR as well. Lots has happened. Have you seen all the news about VAR as well? Like it's had a few disasters. People have been saying enough's enough, this type of thing. I think we're going to have to fix it again at some point, chaps.
Oh, okay. I'm kind of bored with VAR now.
Oh,
we've done our fixes. It's up to them to decide what to do with what we've given them.
Yeah, we've given it to them now.
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm not going to tell you again.
I feel like VAR has been spoken about for such a long period of time, about the same kind of length as it takes VAR to make a decision. I feel like the talking about it has become as much of a problem as the decision-making process itself.
They are linked in that they're both almost like scientifically being studied and over-examined. Again, it's kind of made everyone want to look at everything from a minute detail, and that's not what football should be, and that's part of the problem, isn't it?
It's like when Arteta's style of managing, isn't it? Like really minute, scientific kind of
genius,
micromanagement. Yeah,
is that right? Genius level. Yeah,
micromanaging. Yeah,
it's genius. Anyway, Dan, speaking about VAR, shouldn't someone have been sent off in the United game?
No,
I heard something afterwards.
He grazed him. There was no force.
It was on Doku, wasn't it?
Yeah, no force behind it. It was. Yeah. It looked worse.
A bit dodgy.
Looked
like
worse in the
replay.
Nah.
Oh, did it?
No, brushed him. Brushed the side of him.
Something look worse in a replay.
It can look worse in a replay.
The replay is just the replay.
Because you see it again.
That's why it's worse.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway, can I bring it in off the post, chaps?
Oh, yeah.
Right, on my off the post this week, I have somebody called CJ who has said, aside Michael Ballack, no German player has ever succeeded in the Premier League. Ooh, what do you think? And some of the comments underneath, I thought, oh, that's interesting. And then you realise that's ridiculous. Somebody put Jens Lehmann, Didi Hamann. Well, the same person put Babel, who's Dutch, but anyway. Jurgen Klinsmann, Mesut Ozil, Gundogan, and all the others have been playing gold, or the other author maybe 16 years old. Don't know what the end of that was, but they made some good points initially. Someone also said Robert Huth, who won Premier League titles with Leicester and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Another one as well.
Yeah.
One of my favourite comments was, I asked my German friend, do you think any German players done well in England? Again, grammar I know.
Yeah.
He slapped me across the face with a leather glove and said, Wie ask Sie questions, Schweinhund? True story. And there's my off the post.
I don't think there have been like really successful Germans, but that's something that I think it was Thomas Müller said a while ago, that Germans don't necessarily individually succeed that well. The reason why they did well as a team is because they were a team collectively, and it wasn't any individual. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's true. I think just putting Ballack out there as an individual ahead of the others, though, is probably a bit silly. But yeah, Ozil for Arsenal, pretty good. Helped get Arsenal back on the horse of getting cups and stuff like that, which was good. You got Didi Hamann
before you quickly ushered him out, going, "Oh, he's too lazy for us."
Kicked him out.
Yeah. Anyway, Pep Guardiola. I've got something I want to bring up to you guys. I think he's a fraud.
Here we go.
It's seriously.
This
happened.
Here we go.
It's happened repeatedly. So over his whole career, but we'll go into his whole career during this, I imagine. But since he's been in the Premier League, he inherited a great side. Whenever he's had any spot of bother, instead of being a genius that everyone says he is, he ends up going out and just buying another load of players. I think he's a fraud. So today we're going to fix Pep Guardiola.
You know what I noticed actually? James became very anti-Guardiola when the conversation started a few years ago of who is second after Fergie.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah,
no.
as soon as there was this talk, like, well, he's clearly more successful and better than Wenger. All of a sudden, he became this anti-Guardiola guy.
Yeah.
Not all of a sudden. I've been anti-Guardiola because throughout his whole career, to be honest, even before he came to the Prem, he inherited a brilliant Barcelona team. I mean, anyone can do well if you've got Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets. I mean, what an incredible side he's inherited there. Oh, he's a genius all of a sudden. You've got Messi in it. I mean, anyone could win with Messi. I could win in that side. Then he goes to Germany, and what team does he have? Oh, Bayern Munich, who win every year anyway.
Well,
and then he comes to the Prem. He inherits a title-winning side in Man City, and then spends another load of money.
Well, Tuchel failed
it's an
to win.
Absolute joke.
Tuchel failed to win with Bayern Munich, didn't he?
To be fair, Bayer Leverkusen had to go unbeaten in order to beat
That's
Bayern
true.
Munich.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. See?
Yeah.
Thanks,
I will always defend Leverkusen. They're the true invincibles in my eyes. Yeah.
But
Not
genuinely,
that poxy Arsenal invincibles.
I know you always like going up against me, but genuinely, Pep is a bit of a fraud, isn't he? He's just imagine if David Moyes at Everton had all the money that Pep has to spend to solve problems. You keep ranting on about what's his name, Barry and Beto. Imagine if Moyes had money to spend.
I think he would struggle.
I
really?
do too.
Yeah, because the one time he had money and he went to Man United,
he was a flop.
He didn't succeed. Yeah, Moisey and a lot of managers out there, they actually don't necessarily succeed with money. I think that's why Klopp did so well at Liverpool. And that's why also a lot of people are saying he shouldn't have the Real Madrid job. Because, a lot of people are saying that he could be the next manager.
Yeah, that's not a fit for me.
Yeah.
No.
But tell us why he's a fraud then. Give us your reasoning.
Well, I know. So partly because of what I've already mentioned, he's always inherited the best squad of players pretty much everywhere he's gone. I mean, most managers are probably going to do quite well in their leagues, especially when you look at the German league and you look at the Spanish league, where there's not many top sides. Obviously, in Spain, it's Barca or Real pretty much every season.
Yeah, sprinkling of Atletico every now and again.
So you're expected to win every game, and then you get the El Clasico game, which decides the season, essentially. And Pep had Messi, and not just that, the World Cup winning players, essentially, Xavi, Iniesta, and so on that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of managers are going to succeed. And when Pep left, did Barca suddenly drop all the way down? No, they won it again, then again, and so on. Barcelona were going to win anyway.
I mean, I think they won it once after him, didn't they? In the 15-16 season.
And also, having the best players doesn't guarantee you success. It makes it a lot easier, but it doesn't guarantee it. Look at Liverpool.
I agree with that. And that's the thing. I'm not saying
look
Pep's
at look at the summer transfer window that Liverpool have had. They've spent 400 odd million. They've got Isak. They've got Florian Wirtz. They went out and bought Ekitike. They went so many high quality players. And the left back who's absolutely failed at Liverpool as well. What's his name?
Kirkes.
The guy from Bournemouth, Kirkes. Thank you. And Frimpong on the right as well. These are all, Frimpong from Bayer Leverkusen. These are all players that were right. They were probably one of the top in their position in the world at the point of signing them.
I like how we're talking about Man City and Guardiola. And Dan just goes, "Oh, Liverpool failed so badly."
No. This is in defence of Guardiola. Yeah, I just couldn't help myself, obviously. But no,
this is exactly what James did last week.
Look at the smirk on Dan's face. He's loving it. Just rubbing to Liverpool.
My point is, there's no guarantee. Just because you've got the best players, there's no guarantee of winning.
My point is,
money doesn't mean money.
Doesn't everyone hate Liverpool?
No, it's more difficult than that, isn't it? It's more difficult than just spending money and then you're going to win and having the best. It's more complicated than that.
I think that there is a case, definitely, to say that he is somewhat overrated, because I do agree at, 4 years at Barcelona and the 3 years at Bayern Munich, I would say he inherited the best teams in that league.
Yep.
The bare minimum at Bayern Munich is pretty much to win the league.
Yep.
And then he was brought in to try and win the Champions League, and I think they got to the semi-finals or something, and they never won it.
Yep.
So you could say that he could be overrated, or he had a luxurious position. Privileged, yeah. And at City, you could say, yes, he was given so much money every single season, and you could make an argument that the successes came because of the money. There's a strict correlation.
He'd also inherited a side that just won the league as well, with Pellegrini, with...
No, he didn't.
Mancini.
He inherited a side that came fourth, didn't they?
Yes, but they won the league in the last couple of seasons before he got there.
Yeah, but then you could say the same for if money is the correlation, then I'm not even going to make the argument right now about Arteta, how much he spent and how little he's won. Because you're saying he's a genius, but he's won one FA Cup with the amount of money that he spent. However, I would also say that just like what Dan said, money doesn't necessarily mean success, because there's been a lot of managers for Chelsea, for Arsenal,
Man United,
yeah. There's been so many of these clubs they spend so much money and they either get little success from it or nothing at all. If anything, quite often it gets worse. However, with Pep, he's managed to keep a level success where all of a sudden now, coming second feels like failure.
Okay, you need to hear my case then, because it's absolutely ridiculous how the media as well, not just general football fans and things like that, but the media protect Pep. It is just uncanny how much they kind of shield him from the criticism that he should actually get.
Okay.
So he was born with like a silver spoon up his backside, wasn't he?
Up his backside?
That sounds painful.
Whatever the saying is. Up his, in his mouth, whatever it is. Silver. He's privileged.
Well,
right?
hopefully he was in the mouth first. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. You're born into privilege essentially, and that's why people who are born into privilege financially, with that background, family, whatever it might be, tend to go on and perform better in life, educationally, and so on. Right?
Yeah. People
who don't have the same resources and that don't tend to get as far. Imagine if Pep was at Everton, how well would he do? If he was at West Ham right now, would he? If he's a genius, he'd solve the problems there, right? When I mentioned Arteta was a genius earlier this season, listen to my case on that. Arteta came into Arsenal. We hadn't won the league for practically 20 years. We were in a really bad way. Toxic dressing room, toxic fan base, performances up and down, all over the place. He solved that problem. He didn't inherit a squad of top players like Pep did. He didn't inherit a winning mentality, which is, even if you hadn't won the league that season, if you've got players that had won the league several times like City had by that point, then it's much easier to get them on board. They have that know-how in the squad. Arteta's converted Arsenal into a top competing side and is this close to winning
but Arteta only started actually becoming a little bit more, and I use successful in a very loose term because he hasn't really won anything. But in terms of challenging for a Premier League, after money was spent, he came 8th twice.
Yes.
And then, but money had to be spent first
that.
For him to then compete. So he also needs the money.
But
also,
in order to say like, oh, he's an absolute genius because he turned Arsenal around by simply spending 250 mil a season, just a poxy sum of 105 million for Declan Rice,
So Pep once again has struggled this season with some results. The team's on, not top of the league and that type of stuff. So how does he solve that problem? He goes back out into the transfer window and he spent I think they spent 400 and something million, is it? 440 million or whatever it is.
Good on them, because they sold more than Arsenal spent.
Pep Guardiola is now the highest spending manager of all time. He spent, this is before Mark Gahey, by the way, there's another 20 million on top of that. But this came out just before that, after he'd signed Semenyo. 2.03 billion euros, more than any other manager. So if you're bound to win stuff, aren't you? If you're spending that much money.
Well, he's been the longest reigning manager during the highest spending era. And how many Premier Leagues has he won? And how many trophies in general has he won in that time? And look at Arteta. He spent over €1 billion and he's won one FA Cup.
He is 7th on that list.
He's
actually.
7th already on the list.
So
right, we'll gloss over
have
that.
a look at if you put it down into like an amount for like a trophy per million spend. If you looked at like trophy per capita, actually Arteta is
per capita,
per person.
I don't really know what the term is. How would you put that into a terminology?
Trophy per pound.
That way. Yeah, money per trophy or whatever. Actually, if you think about it, Arsenal have massively overspent to get one FA Cup.
They have.
Yeah,
exactly.
And City have
this is not the first time Pep's done this, right?
Pep won 4 Premier Leagues in a row. That's insane. I don't think Arteta, even if they do win the league, and I think they probably will eventually. If it's not this year, they probably will win a Premier League. I don't think they'll do 4 on the bounce. I don't think Arteta will ever do that.
I don't think any team will, unless they go through the same thing that Man City have had, where they buy everything. They've literally bought the league.
Well, Arsenal are halfway there.
Just like they've been doing it, though, they haven't. The first time they went to the 100 mil mark was with Jack Grealish, wasn't it? And so he was in charge for about 8 years or something before they spent 100 mil on one player. They've bought smart. They spent less on the last 5 players with, Gahey, Cherky, these awesome, almost world-class players. They've spent less on these 5 players than Arteta spent on Gyökeres and Madueke. So I would say that they also spent smart and they sold smart, because like I say, you could say he spent 400 million in the last year, but it's because they sold like 267 mil or something. They sold more than Arteta actually spent.
But that's like the situation Chelsea were in. Because in the early years, before Pep arrived at Man City had already spent hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds on players.
That's very true. Yeah.
So they inherited a squad. So when he's inherited this squad of really, high-earning, high-achieving players, it's easier to sell them for more money. Arteta inherited a squad that didn't have that. We had a couple of stars, but we couldn't sell all those players. We had to build from scratch and have that project. You do need to spend money. I'm not saying you don't. And buying wisely, I completely agree. But imagine, again, go back to Moyes or Sean Dyche or something like that. If they'd like to spend wisely, but they don't have the money to do so sometimes. They just have to buy.
If you sell
260
something mil, basically net spend, they spent less than Arsenal. So it doesn't really matter if you have to sell in order to buy, because that's basically what City did, because the net spend was less than Arsenal.
Also,
let me wind Clark's back a year.
I just want to pick up on your David Moyes point, because you've said it multiple times now. If David Moyes had money to spend, right? If David Moyes had had $1 billion to spend in the time that Arteta has been at Arsenal, would he have had success?
I believe so. Probably in a cup, because of the nature of.
So is he
he's at West Ham or
better than
Everton
Arteta?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, Arteta then.
Possibly.
How is Arteta a genius if David Moyes could have done it? I mean, David Moyes won just as many trophies in his career as Arteta has, and he hasn't spent that kind of money. Also, I'd just like to say, talking about this fraud and genius and spending so much more than everyone else and everything, do you know that in Arsene Wenger's first 3 years as manager of Arsenal, he spent more than Alex Ferguson's first 10 years at Manchester United?
Really?
Yeah.
That is interesting.
So if we're talking about genius and fraud, if you're overspending and everything, then Arsene Wenger's a fraud, because actually he won less than Fergie did, and Fergie spent way less at the beginning. And then after a while, when there's consistent success, you keep making more money, don't you? So I think you are justified in spending more money.
Well, Ferguson did break the transfer record on around 6 occasions, apparently. So
he was there for 26 years, so I would say that's fair enough.
He was also there at the birth of like the Premier League era. So the first time he broke that transfer record, it was like £1 million. So,
yeah,
but that's still relative. Just because that sounds like it's not very much in today's money, at the time, that's still Pep Guardiola's spending other managers.
But it was
still
a point in
more
which
than
the inflation.
Yeah,
but it was the point in which the inflation of the value of those players went up dramatically because of the boom in money in the Premier League in the first 10 years.
Yeah, that was funny when it was like they've broke the transfer record again with 2 million. Yeah,
yeah.
But that's the thing. If you're talking about fraud, then Wenger outspending Fergie's first 10 years in the first 3 years he was there.
It's a very particular sample, yeah. Overall, Fergie spent more than Wenger did by quite a way.
Yeah, but that's because of the success. Like I say, in those first 10 years that he was there, he still had more success than Wenger did, and yet he spent far less.
I think the main point is that the spending money doesn't guarantee you any success unless you know what you're doing with it and what you're doing with the players that come in. So just because you spend money, it doesn't give you any less validation of success as a manager. If you manage to win a league after spending money, doesn't mean you're any less able as a manager, I don't think. Maybe it does mean that you've had a lot more help, and perhaps Pep is maybe a bit overrated, potentially. That's an argument, but to say he's a fraud is just too far for me.
Yeah, I'd reckon so. Because, I mean, you've got to look at the fact that before him, City had been spending for, what was it, 8 years, isn't it? 2008 they got taken over.
Yeah,
7 or 8. So for about
around there,
8 or 9 years they were spending big.
Yeah.
And fair enough, at the beginning, let's say the first 3 or 4 years could be a like a project. So 2012 was their first league win. They went through quite a few managers that couldn't give them consistency. They'd only won the league twice before he came in.
Well, I'm going to sort of say, so if everyone keeps telling me that the Champions League is the thing, right, to decide if you're a great club or whatever it is. You were showing me a clip earlier before in the green room that what was it of Arteta saying to make a great club you have to win the Champions League, and then it was
to be considered a big club, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So Guardiola won it in that squad that he inherited at Barcelona. He won it there, was it twice? With Messi and the greatest, one of the the greatest club side he inherited there.
Yeah,
right. And
that's weird. I thought you said that the Invincibles are the greatest club side ever.
I said arguably. I don't necessarily agree with it. And then he goes to Bayern Munich, where his, like you say, it's bread and butter to win the league, so that's fine. He has to win the Champions League. Never managed it with the best squad in Germany, and obviously they bought players and all that type of thing as well. Comes to Man City, and how much money did they spend? And eventually, they got to the final against Chelsea. He overthought things. Tactically was done by Tuchel, by a weaker Chelsea side, by the way. And then eventually, they spend enough money on it. They buy Haaland, and again, go at it again, and he finally gets over the line. But essentially, they bought the Champions League. And I know you agree with me. And just because Dan's agreeing with you the whole time, I'm going to try and rile him up and get him on my side. So the great Jamie Carragher says that what Pep has done at Man City right now is probably greater than what Alex Ferguson did at Man United. I mean, come on, Dan. You've got to agree with me.
That's a different argument, though, isn't it? That's a different argument. Like I said, I think Pep is overrated. Also, anything Jamie Carragher says is just about Man United is just nonsense. You can just write it off.
That is literally
away
just before we started recording. You did say something about you don't listen to any Liverpool pundits.
No, not about when they talk about Man United. I just don't. I just switch off to it because like they clearly have agendas. They don't hide it and whatever. And like to say something like that, I think is ridiculous. I hope that most people don't share that view, and it is just something that he's saying to get some reaction. Equally, that is another argument anyway. Even if he did genuinely believe that, I'm not saying that Pep isn't overrated, like because a comment like that is ridiculous. But what I am saying is, you have to accept that he's achieved great things at City, and he is a good manager. Just because he's had money doesn't mean he's not a good manager.
And don't forget with Fergie as well. Fergie was there for 26 years. He only won the Champions League twice. Was it twice? It was only twice.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
And he made. I think he made 4 finals.
4 finals. So Pep has already gone to 2 finals in 8 years.
And
8
I
or
think
9
Pep
years.
financially, although I said that Fergie had spent money earlier and all that, Pep is on another level in terms of the spending, in terms of what he's able to do and the war chest that he's got available to him.
Yeah.
So if you're using trophies, you could say Pep is better than Fergie. Per game, per match, if you measure it per capita, as Dan said, then, he's more efficient at winning trophies, but he's got a bigger war chest. He can spend so much more money. He's got the bigger squad. Every player, they buy like 30, 40 million pound players, and they've got 2 of those for every position, essentially, or they have done for a lot of Pep's
So does that mean then, if Arsenal continue to spend, let's say they win this season, and they keep either winning or coming second or something for the next, let's say, 5 years, but Arteta keeps spending more and more like he is now, then after 5 years, will you say, well, Arteta's clearly a fraud?
Well, find out after the break. I think it's time for a halftime head scratcher.
Good morning. Here's your halftime head scratcher. We all know that players who played for Arsenal needed to leave the club to find success. But how many players left Arsenal and won the Champions League during the Premier League era? Find out after the break. Welcome back. Before the break, I asked you how many players left Arsenal and won the Champions League during the Premier League era. The answer is 7. That club really does hold people back, doesn't it?
Thanks for that, Cess.
You're welcome,
Very
James.
thoughtful of you.
I thought you always like talking about Arsenal, so I thought I'd join in.
This is meant to be about Pep Guardiola. Fraud or not. But before we get into that, I think it's time for player or Naya, Fayer, whatever it's called. Your thing, Dan. Do you want to get on with it?
Yeah, so I'm here to cheer you up after that woeful Arsenal fact. So let's have a bit of fun, shall we? Cess, hit the music. So, it's been a while since Player on Air, guys, so as a little reminder of the scores, Cess, you are ahead with 8, and James, you are only marginally behind with 5. Right, Cess, I'll let you go first, sir.
Thanks.
Your name is Chubby Cox.
That's what I call him.
I'm going to say that is a Naya.
It is a player.
Oh,
Yes!
no.
Come on!
Now, I'm going to spice it up a bit. I'm going to give James the opportunity to win your bonus point.
Oh, what?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
The same will continue throughout. You will get
I was
the
going to
same
say,
opportunities,
just charity
don't worry.
otherwise.
No,
yeah.
it wasn't like this is like Man City
No.
chasing down Liverpool or
This is-
Arsenal at the top of the league
this
every
is a-
season.
this
They
is-
get things go in their favour somehow.
Right.
I think
This
that
is a
should be
new
allowed.
rule I've come up with to add a little bit of jeopardy. So, James, what sport do you think Chubby Cox plays?
Chubby's got to be American. Ooh, I'm going to say baseball.
You missed the chance. It's basketball.
Ah.
Your name, your opportunity. Wayne Wanklin.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, what a name like Wayne.
Ooh, that is a Naya.
You're also wrong, which means your bonus point opportunity goes over to Seth.
Oh,
Oh,
Cess.
excellent. I always try to guess other sports and I end up being football. So I'm going to say football.
You are correct. You get the bonus point.
days.
Get in.
Fix.
Oh man, that round flip flopped like you wouldn't believe the drama.
Yeah.
The
So
drama,
Wayne
yeah.
Wanklin was a football player for Slough Town FC, so just around the corner from you guys. Signed in 1988. So there you go.
Wow.
That's your player on air,
It's a good
guys.
year.
Thanks a lot.
Right, lads. Enough nonsense now. Let's get to it. We've got to do our jobs. Let's fix Pep Guardiola, shall we?
Yeah, let's stop him from being so successful.
And buying everything. Right. So just
Yeah,
to
he needs a
recap.
few, he needs a
Arsenal
few
has
more second.
Outspent
He needs a few more
City.
second places. He needs a few more second places to really be classed as achieving something, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So there was a lot we debated in that first half of the episode, right? So let's just quickly summarise. So I'm saying that he is clearly overrated. He's not a genius. Some may say he's a fraud.
No, you called him a fraud. You said he is a fraud. Not some may say.
Yeah.
So-
Can we actually, Cess, in the edit, can you just quickly skip
Go
back to the
Oh,
beginning?
yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah,
that,
good idea.
You know, perfect. Just so we can get it on
So,
record. Excellent.
I
Yes.
never said that. Anyway, so can he succeed without any sort of financial dominance? He's always inherited this prestigious, sort of privileged squad. Anything he's won with a great team, right? Ranieri with Leicester managed to win the league without having a great team. That is a moment of magic. That is brilliant. Mm-hmm. What Arteta's done at Arsenal, he had to transform Arsenal into title contenders, and if we win a league, has proven more than Pep has, because he inherited a weaker, a club in disarray, fans against them, players nowhere near the right standard. He's created a style of play against a Pep squad, by the way. Pep competing against Arsenal with a squad full of players that are worth 30, 40 million, if not more. Some of them are Grealish level 100 million players, right? Another reason the media won't let us...
If Arteta does manage to win the league with Arsenal, it is almost as great an achievement as Ranieri winning the league with Leicester City, isn't it? So
he would have matched Ranieri finally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another reason why, and I don't blame you, because of the propaganda, the media will protect Pep no matter what. No one is allowed to say anything against him. The media, even on Match of the Day, the opening credits for Match of the Day, Pep appears like he's on the sidelines just thinking, and that they have like these Albert Einstein like formula, sort of algorithms going around his head to kind of insinuate that he is this genius and he's thinking about things no one else can comprehend. And it's just kind of, it's ridiculous. It's like no one can even, it's kind of like...
I've seen loads of criticism. I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
He gets criticism all the time. You just don't like to look at it.
No. So, how he's
It's like you said that people didn't have a go at Wayne Rooney. And Dan and I were like, what are you talking about? He gets probably the most criticism. Yeah.
So those were the kind of general arguments. He's always inherited a great team, the team at the pretty much near the top of the league with a great squad. He's never really had to transform a squad into a real title-winning one. He's always had winners in that squad. The only Champions Leagues he's ever won are with insane squads where he spent a ridiculous amount of money. He's the highest spending manager by quite some way.
He barely spent any money at Barcelona when they won, by the way.
Oh, well, in that case, he inherited the best squad with some of the best players.
That's a fair enough
in that case,
argument.
I am kind of putting this all together across. He's managed a few teams now, so those are the arguments, right? He's made tactical errors in games where, like the Champions League final against Chelsea, Tuchel outsmarted him, was a better manager performance on that day, and yeah, there we go.
Okay.
But to do it over the length of time that he's done, and to win the amount that he has, regardless of what's been spent, like there's been so many examples of spend not equating to success, you also have to acknowledge the ability of the manager at the same time.
Yeah, and also, if you're talking about money, because money is one of the biggest arguments for you, there's two managers that you would say are geniuses, Wenger and Arteta. I've already told you that Wenger spent more than Fergie and had less success. And the little success that Wenger had was at the time when he was outspending Fergie and he was spending a lot of money. As soon as he couldn't spend money, he got no success. And for 20 years, or how many years? Like 15 years or whatever that he was managing at that time, there was no success. With Arteta, he's now outspending Guardiola, and yet he's still getting no success. And if he carries on spending in this way and starts getting success, then you would also have to call him a fraud, because then he will be outspending Pep with the same kind of successes. So I would say he's got longevity and consistency on his side, and he justifies the money that he spends. Whereas the actual people that you call geniuses, like Wenger and Arteta, with the same argument, don't follow the consistency, don't justify the money spent. And with Arteta, he hasn't even won anything yet, and he's still outspending Guardiola.
Well, you talk about the longevity argument. I just need to say, so Pep has never really been at any team where he's had to go through a proper cycle, where he's built a squad, they've then gone through their generation, won what they've won, left, and then he's built another one, which Fergie did. And this is why I'd always put Fergie ahead of Pep. In terms of, you said genius, Arteta and the arguments I made for that, Wenger was amazing and he was a genius in his own way. Yes, that's a conversation for another day. So Pep as well at Bayern Munich, right? How long was he there for? That was only three seasons years as well. Yeah. So again, not even a full cycle. So he inherits a squad, spends loads of money, and as soon as it gets to the point, which he's getting to now at City, by the way, how many years he's been at City now? Is it 8 years, 9?
9 years? 2016 he came in, so... Yeah.
And what is it? He didn't win the league last year because Liverpool won it. Mm-hmm. And this year, is he going to win it? Well, time will tell. It's getting to this time where he needs to start building a squad again. If he starts winning again and he wins the Champions League and he wins endless leagues again, then fair enough. He's starting to get to a level like Fergie where he's able to rebuild a squad again. Yeah, spending a load of money, by the way. But that would help move closer in my mind to him being, well, not underrated or whatever it is you believe I'm doing, but in terms of rated, I'd rate him then as a top manager if he's able to rebuild a squad in that way.
Yeah, but that's you can only really compare him then to, what is it, Fergie, Wenger and Klopp, because they're the only ones that have been managers in the Premier League era longer than him. So you're only comparing against them. In terms of successes, he's more successful than them in the time that he's been there. He's far more successful than Klopp. So you would say that he's above Klopp. With Wenger, if you go on successes, if you go on consistency, then Guardiola is more successful. The only argument then is the rebuild, and that's just time, isn't it?
Yeah, there is time, but I reckon he's probably going to leave this season. He started, as we've seen the last couple of years, he's had to go out and spend another load of money because he's going to have to start rebuilding their squad. Instead of just bringing youth players through, they're letting them go, like Cole Palmer, for example. How many young players does he actually start and play? There's a couple this like O'Reilly and who's that other young lad?
Rico Lewis. There's quite a few in the last few years. But the thing is, you're trying to compare him to Fergie, and the majority of people still say Fergie. I still say Fergie. All three of us do.
Yeah.
And the majority of people say Fergie. A lot of the City fans still say Fergie, but actually, a lot of City fans say Pep. So it's still a debate, and I don't think it's something that you can really hold against him, because he's the fourth longest reigning Premier League manager, like historically, which means that very few managers actually get to that point anyway. It's actually a freak case to have someone like Fergie or Wenger stay for 20-something years.
Yeah, they're outliers, yeah.
Yeah, and in Wenger's... Fergie, that was a complete freak kind of thing, to have someone for a quarter of a century and be so successful. No one, almost in the history of football, has been like that. With Wenger, he actually stayed there too long. It went stale. And even the Arsenal fans and the club wanted him out. So staying there long doesn't necessarily mean good things.
No, but we're making these comparisons. Obviously, again, there's caveats to Wenger. He didn't have money to spend because of the stadium. In his second 10 years, he was there for like 20
and he got no success.
Years. And yeah, because he didn't have the money to spend. It got to an era where Chelsea had come into the league. Man United was still spending loads. Man City then, 2008, started spending hundreds and hundreds of millions as well. Wenger did not have that money to spend until around 2014, where we started to buy one or two players, still not on the level of City or Chelsea or whatever. And that was when Ozil and Alexis Sanchez the following year.
So you're saying he's not a genius? That's what you're saying. He's a fraud.
You need to spend money, yes, but if you're competing against these players, you need to spend a similar amount of money. Pep's outspent almost every manager since he's been in the Prem, in terms of, not talking about net spend, in terms of spending.
Until Arteta came along and decided to outspend City.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the thing is, Arteta learned from the fraud, didn't he? So
that's true. Yeah.
Fraud,
so
those parts
he's
of
even
Arteta's,
more of a fraud.
so,
Yeah.
Well, those parts of Arteta's character. Obviously, Arteta learnt from Wenger and loads of other gurus as well.
He learnt from Wenger not to win the league. Yeah.
So what he clearly
he learned
picked
how
up
to
from
win an
Pep
FA
was
Cup.
those.
And called that the greatest success. Yeah.
What he clearly picked up from Pep were those fraud-like kind of characteristics of having to, all right, we need to buy everything. But Pep, right, I'm going to finish on this. So Pep Guardiola will go up in my estimation from an overrated manager to actually a rated one, to a good top manager, right? If he can meet these criteria. Right. He needs to rebuild Man City to another top side like the one he inherited. He needs to leave the club in at least as good a position than he inherited them. He needs to win another Champions League. He needs to go to another club like an Everton or a West Ham, or a struggling side with limited resources.
What are you talking about? Struggling side?
Or a club that's in disarray, that's in like a real project you have to rebuild. You might say Liverpool,
like Everton or West Ham,
Man United. Yeah, there are a lot. There's loads of clubs there. If he goes and retires and smokes his cigars and just wants to be considered the greatest, then sorry, mate, you're not in my estimation. He needs to go and earn his stripes at a club where he had limited. More difficult circumstances than the best squad, the best team in every league.
So is this why you think that Messi is overrated and you don't think he's a good player? Because he just played at Barcelona and PSG?
I do think it would have strengthened Messi in my mind had he come to the Premier League and proven himself. But Messi was a genius.
I see.
Where was Arsene Wenger's success at a lower team?
Yeah, that's very true. And also, he only got success when he spent money. And as soon as the money was taken away, he had no success. But he's still a genius,
Yeah.
And Arteta's not won the league, but he's still a genius.
I don't actually have that much of an issue with saying that maybe Pep Guardiola is a bit overrated. I think he's a great manager. Is he one of the greatest of all time? There are these caveats which say, actually, maybe he's not up there with the absolute most elite. But what I don't agree with is using like other managers against him and using different measurement scales.
Yeah.
If you're going to measure genius, like you have to have the same rules for every manager.
Yeah,
so
I
if
completely
you're going to
agree
compare
with that.
one against the other.
And the caveats, the criteria that you gave. I mean, if he has to win another Champions League, what you're saying is he has to win twice as many Champions Leagues as Sir Alex Ferguson did in less than half the time, because he's already won 3 in his career. He has to win another one for you to consider him a genius. But that's
and he should win it with West Ham as well, by the way. So, we've put our cases forward, and although there's clearly bias with you two supporting each other and all of that. I can see Dan really wants to side with me anyway. But he's siding with you out of fear, probably. I've made the case. I think our listeners will understand and agree. You've made
Will they?
You've made a case. You can also decide if our fantasy football guru is a fraud or a genius. Here is John's Juicy Tips. Juicy.
I'd like to underrate your tips, John.
John's Juicy Tips.
Yeah.
Alright, it's good to hear I can keep my job as an FPL guru for at least a few more weeks, now that I'm top of the league. So, get your straws out and slurp up these juicy tips. In defence is a super sweet, tasty Trevor Chalobah for Chelsea. The fixtures for Chelsea could hardly be better over the next 5 games. Get this, they have Palace up next, who are without to win in 7, then West Ham, Wolves, Leeds and Burnley. So triple up on them and get Trevor in defence. In midfield is the tangy mango, Mitoma for Brighton. He's finally got over his injury issues from the first half of the season, and he's a bargain at 6.1 million for a super attacking Brighton side. And up front is the crunchy, crispy Croupy Jr. for Bournemouth. After Haaland, he has the highest XG per 90 of all the forwards in the game, and with Semenyo gone, he will get more game time and more goals. Juicy.
Thanks, John, as always. And our league, man. Oh, it's amazing. I've said this last few weeks, partly because I'm competing, obviously, which is great. But also our guru. John's been fighting up first, second place. He's moving in and out.
As soon as we told him that his job's on the line, all of a sudden he's doing well, isn't he?
It's motivation, isn't it?
Yeah,
it really is.
He's spending a lot of money as well.
Amazing what a bit of pressure from the top can do.
So at the time of recording, our guru John is top, but we aren't at the end of the game week yet. But he has 1,302 points, so he's going to take some beating there. And we've got a new second place currently, again at the point of recording, with Frano11, or Frano XI, Fran Stevens, in second place with 1,300 points. So only 2 points behind John at this stage.
Oh, wow.
It's
hotting up, isn't it?
It is really hotting up. Where are you guys, by the way? Just saying. I can't find you.
I decided to lead from the back myself.
Lead from the back?
Yes. Yeah.
That's good leadership. That is, inspire. Get down and dirty.
Exactly. Yeah.
Into the trenches.
And just just because of my utter respect for Cess, I felt like I should trail behind him.
Get in line.
So yeah. So
it's
I
very
thought
nice of you to both get in line behind me as well.
Drop down behind,
Yeah.
Yeah,
very good.
We just let James go ahead, like the little kid in a theme park. Like, yeah, you go on ahead. You have your fun. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just hold back.
Yeah,
it's fine.
So if you want to join our league and see how you'd compare with the best of us, show your true ball knowledge, and you'll get a shout out every time you top the table. Join with the entry code SD4GZV and see if you have what it takes. So there we are then, guys. So we all agreed then. So Pep's overrated.
No, you always said that he was a fraud. I'm going to bring back the quote that you said at the beginning, that he's a fraud.
Is he a genius? He's not a genius, is he? I mean, come on.
How can you say that? Arteta's a genius, but Pep isn't. That just makes no sense in my head.
I don't understand it. No, I can't make parallels. I can't understand that.
What Arteta had to deal with when he came to Arsenal, how he's transformed the club. Pep hasn't transformed Man City. He inherited a great squad. A previous league-winning squad just from a couple of years earlier.
And he needs to win twice as many Champions Leagues as Sir Alex Ferguson did in half the time in order to be considered successful.
Yeah.
I think we've lost all credibility as a podcast now.
Well, I would hope that that our listeners can understand that James's viewpoints are not the viewpoints of the podcast.
The podcast, yeah. that's true. We're going to distance ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, if we could just put that asterisk and that caveat on this episode, that would be great.
I'll probably put it as an asterisk at the bottom of every episode. James's views are his own.
Views are not reflective of
right,
people.
Okay, so I might have been a bit harsh saying he's a fraud. I might have been harsh saying he's a fraud.
So you're going to go back on the fraud thing instead of saying that Arteta's not a genius?
I agree with you guys. Well, I agree with Dan that he's He should be rated. He shouldn't be overrated, which he currently is, and the media is so protective of him. Is he actually a genius? Well, I don't think so. Saying Pep Guardiola is overrated isn't really the same as saying he's a bad manager. It's far from it. He's one of the most influential coaches. I can get that. He's kind of shaped a lot of thinking. Did he come up with the ideas? No. I say that was Johan Cruyff. But anyway, that's a topic for another day.
Did we just fix James?
I think we did. As soon as we pointed out that Arteta might not be a genius, he decided to roll back on the whole Pep fraud thing, didn't he?
Another successful fix for this week's episode. On that note, I think we should wrap it up, don't you?
Yeah, good idea. It's a goodbye from me.
Hey, that's my
And
line.
it's a goodbye from me.
Guys, I haven't finished. The point is, when the squads aren't stacked, when the money isn't endless...